Does the White House have a reaction to Senator Cruz saying President Biden may be impeached if the Republicans take back the House next year, specifically for the border policies?
Well, our reaction is maybe Senator Cruz can work with us on getting something done on comprehensive immigration reform and putting in place measures that will help make sure smart security is what we see at the border, taking a more humane approach to the border instead of name-calling, accusation-calling, and making predictions of the future. Go ahead.
Thank you, Jen. I have questions about voting rights and also about political appointments. On voting rights, the midterm elections are 10 months away. Is the president concerned that the window is closing to pass legislation that could have an impact on how people vote in the midterm elections?
I'm not going to make a prediction of that. What I will say and what the president will talk about in his speech on Thursday is also that, people came out, the American public came out in record numbers last November and participated in our democracy. And we shouldn't underestimate the role of the movement and grassroots movement of the public to have their voices heard. But he absolutely feels that getting voting rights done is fundamental, it's essential. He is going to work in close lockstep with Leader Schumer and others in Congress to get this done. But I'm not going to make a prediction at this point on the timeline. It's obviously a first priority for them in the Senate.
Is it a first priority for the president?
Yes, he's working with Leader Schumer on it.
In December, he said at South Carolina